Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Unspoken Truth. I'm the founder of Mutual Respect and the host, Daniel. Just a quick reminder that everything you see on my podcast is strictly for educational purposes, but fire truck engine red, false accusations destroy families. So this was one of the very first shirts that I had made up when I started going through my family court nightmare back in about 2016-17, and I wore these to court-ordered changeovers at the police station in Port Adelaide, South Australia. So today's just a very brief outline of what it is like to be a falsely accused alienated father from your children, and I'm going to try my best to articulate it in a manner that most can try to comprehend the pain, the trauma, the fear. All sorts of mixed emotions go through a father. And I know it does happen to some women, but I'm speaking strictly from a father's point of view because I am an alienated father. So parental alienation can happen to mum and dad, but it does predominantly happen to dad based on the gender-driven family court system that deliberately destroys families, destabilizes parents, predominantly fathers, as I mentioned, and traumatizes children to maximize profits, as well as creates those children into future clientele. Faith Takalak, Jari Wise's mum, she said it best when she said in a post she put up a few years ago outlining that at least she knows where her son is after he was taken by a violent female, Melissa Oates. But for parents that have been alienated from their children, you have the same pain because you grieve the child, but the child is still alive. So you're not allowed to know how that child's going. You're not allowed to know about their school friends. You're not allowed to know how they're growing into great little human beings or functioning members of society. You're robbed of all that. And then you're told to make it worse that we've erased you from your child's life because we deem that it's in their best interest not to have you a part of their life. It is the most inhumane, fake, fraudulent, rip-off system. And for anybody that's got any fucking brain cells, you will not ever walk through the doors of family court. Family court will traumatize you, it will destroy you, it will erase you from your child's life if you're a father, and it will charge you for the pleasure of doing so to you and your family. False allegations, despite what lawyers will tell their clients, are very common practice in family court. Because for mothers, they do gain an advantage in acrimonious custody disputes, and there is no accountability for the mountain of bullshit false statements they'll make. Perjury is non-existent anymore. The Labor Party should be known as the anti-family party. That's exactly what they stand for. Children are supposed to be the most precious commodity in any country around the world, but especially a so-called democratic free country like Australia, which I believe we only live under the illusion of a democracy in this country. Just take a look around. We didn't vote for this shit, but we're being subjected to it. Anyway, back to alienation. I believe there's three main situational distresses that coerce 47 men every week into taking their own life. 1, false family domestic violence allegations. 2, gender-driven family court orders that predominantly alienate fathers from their family and children, and the children from a whole one half of their family. And 3, I believe the big killer of men is parental alienation. As I touched on earlier, it's the most inhumane form of abuse that I've ever experienced, I'm not too proud to say that it pushed me to the very brink where I thought it would be a lot easier if I just checked out and left my children a life insurance policy. And a lot of men, sadly, are forced into this position. And when you're put between a rock and a hard place, a simple decision on getting out of bed and functioning in society becomes a very hard concept to grasp. Men have been targeted in this country for a very long time. Make no mistake. But the reality is this: until we all stand united, until we all accept our fate, stand shoulder to shoulder and say no more, then these bastards in Canberra are going to keep destroying families. They're going to keep blaming men for the destruction of families, when the reality is they've created a feminist ideology that has infiltrated the legal system. It's clearly infiltrated the political arena. Parental alienation. Parental alienation. Government incentivized child theft. That's exactly how it is and what it is. The government now have more rights to our children than we do. And I honestly would have thought that that's all it would take for this country to get up off its knees and draw a line in the sand and demand that our children are safe and protected in their own country. But sadly, apparently that isn't enough. Apparently we've been also dumbed down and conditioned to believe that the football season is starting soon, and that's far more of a priority than it is to safeguard future generations. Wake the fuck up, Australia. We're being torn apart from the inside out. Every issue we face comes from the destruction of the family unit. Every issue that our society faces comes from the fact that they have targeted our men, our fathers, our grandfathers, our sons and our mates to paint us as the picture that we are somehow all bad, violent, extreme perpetrators of family and domestic violence. When the reality is it couldn't be further from the truth. They have made men feminine, they have made women masculine, and now what we have is a totally confused society that doesn't understand their roles as a functioning family, that doesn't understand their roles and what part to play as a productive member of a solid family. Because strong families create strong societies. Strong societies rely on strong men. When you weaken a nation's men, you make it far easier to replace the population. Until we wake the fuck up, until we realise why we were born with testicles and a backbone to match, our future generations are going to suffer. Because majority of men have been turned into feminised simps. The testosterone level has been attacked deliberately. Men are now confused, bewildered and traumatised, destabilised to fuck. They don't even know what to do with their spare time once they've been alienated. This has all been part of the plan. Because while we're all scratching around trying to understand where we fit in this world, they are replacing us in our own country with people that have no fucking moral fortitude. So this is directly to the Australian men. Are we going to be the generation that allows our country to be transformed into a third world shithole? Or are we going to respect our past and protect our future generations?